You give me strength. Class is in session.
Kinda don't want Glowfly Swarm against Priest. Hey, looks like I get a mana crystal out of my Breath of Dreams. Well, I didn't keep a Glowfly, but maybe I can win this game with Glowfly into Glowfly anyway. Alright, Vargoth buddy, what you got? Hell of a card to randomly generate. Well, let's see if he can do it again.
This timeline amuses me.
9 cards in hand. I want to play Fungal Fortunes, but it's not that easy to dump something here. Although that's pretty easy to dump.
Like a fungus we spread.
I think I don't Fungal Fortunes here, because if I hit 3 spells, then I would kind of need to burn something, and I think I want to just coin out Alexstrasza next turn to get the discount on the Malygos.
Another soul to consume.
That was a good draw because it's not a non-Malygos minion.
Tombs. Nature's true power.
Gadget Zan Auctioneer. It's pretty good here.
I got the best deals anywhere.
Overdrew that guy, huh?
I will mourn.
I didn't even think if I had lethal this turn. But no, I only had 15 damage, and it's not actually even 15 because this dies to the swipe and heals him. Alright, I'm fine. Card-hit Defender can be pretty obnoxious, since it heals out of my swipe combos. But it looks like he's Highlander, so he shouldn't have another one. And he's already played a bunch of other garbage for Mass Resurrection. So it's not super likely that he gets a bunch of card-hit Defenders.
What is a loon's will?
No, he's not Highlander. Why does he play Bone Wraith and Chrono Breaker? Someone explain? Well, I need to find my Maiev, right? For a Malygos combo.
I got the best deals anywhere.
Germination gives me a 22 damage Malygos combo, which isn't quite enough. So I think I'm playing Wrath here. Question is, do I Wrath for 3 or for 1? Probably just Wrath for 3. Can't really afford to fill up my hands. Alright. There's the Maiev. So next turn is Malygos Maiev. And then we just have to not die for a couple turns. Malygos wakes up and we have... I think Germination Swipe is better than Double Swipe, right? That can be bad for my Malygos combo. But I don't think it's that bad, actually. I can actually... well, I can kill it, but then he gets more stuff, so it's not good. With the Malygos Germination, I have 10 spell damage, so each Moonfire is 11, and then I can swipe last, so even if this thing were to kill my Malygos, it wouldn't matter. But I'm gonna have 2 Malygos anyway, so even if it kills one, it doesn't stop all my spell damage. And at this point, I'm guaranteed to have the Moonfire by my combo turn. So he just has to figure out how to kill me or heal out of range. Which range is 36, I think? Each Moonfire is 11, so that's 22. And then the swipe is 14, so 36.
I wonder.
Maybe if he can res enough Kartut defenders. I'm not sure if Kartut defender actually heals when swipe is the killing blow, though. So I don't even know if that's an out.
My cards are low. How strange.
I have 9 cards in hand, so no reason to do anything here. I guess the play is pick up 2 copies of excess mana. So if he shuffles Albatrosses into my deck, I can still hit Moonfire next turn. Sure. I mean, I have Fungal Fortunes anyway, but whatever. This is the play against double Albatross.
Oh no, my trove of cards is gone. No more niceties.
He did get the heal animation, but it didn't put into -9, so he probably doesn't get the heals off that. Good to know for the future.
Elise versus Illidan. This ends now.
Class is in session.
Definitely don't keep Auctioneer against Demon Hunter. What if I just concede against Demon Hunter? Have I ever won this matchup? Oh, I'm 2-4. I guess that's not that bad. And I did add a Crystal Power to my deck, so I can deal with his early game minions more easily. Am I making an Eagle next turn or drawing a card? Might depend on what he does. I do certainly enjoy drawing cards with this deck. Or maybe I just Wrath this? I mean, Wrath can always draw a card too. Let's just summon an Eagle to contest this. And then there's probably a good chance he just removes the Eagle, but it's a bit of a distraction for him, and the next turn I can go 2 mana spell plus Crystal Power. Next turn we have Overgrowth. We'd certainly like to pick up an Auctioneer at this point. I need to draw a card because my hand doesn't do anything. My hand still doesn't really do anything. But if I'm really desperate next turn, I can make 2 5/6 taunts. It's a super scuffed Dragon's Pack, but that's okay.
They will never catch me.
The fires of vengeance burn bright.
No more niceties.
Probably not an OTK matchup anyway, so let's just swipe for board here.
Now I am complete.
That's a lot of damage. Is it time to make the worst play of my Hearthstone career?
I am the iron hand of the wastes. I am the iron hand of the wastes.
Or is it the best play of my Hearthstone career? Maybe this play wins the game.
Those without eyes truly see. Demons?
Unleash foe!
Demons.
I have 10, 12, 13, 14, 18.
No more niceties.
Justice!
Aloof Neladar.
Okay. See if I'm dead here. It's kind of hard to imagine me being dead here if I wasn't dead last turn, but it's obviously possible. And it's not like I really could have played this turn any differently. Very straightforward, put all my stuff in play, kill his stuff.
His weakness. I yield.
Got him!
Elise versus Uther. I will fight with
What is Paladin?
Class is in
Murlocs, probably. If I thought he was a slow deck, I could keep this pair of minions, but not against Murlocs, I don't think. And it probably wouldn't even be that good against slow decks. Still just want to hit Overgrowth, Fungal Fortunes. Mostly those two. I do have Overgrowth into Auctioneer with a couple 0 mana spells, but I'm not sure whether or not that'll be too slow. Didn't get his Sword of Justice in play in time. Do I want to discount an Auctioneer? It would basically let me play a Glowfly Swarm along with it, which is pretty insane, potentially. Alright. Don't want to be too greedy with the Imprisoned Satyr against an aggro deck. Overgrowth has to be better than Swipe here. Maybe I swipe with Auctioneer next turn.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
I can Bog Beam swipe the carpet.
Nature's true power.
I got the best deals anywhere.
Taunt this up to protect the Auctioneer. Swipe is 4 mana. I can actually play Swipe plus Glowfly, holy shit. I mean, I guess that's the play.
No more niceties.
Okay, did I win this game?
Reporting for duty.
He's still going, huh?
Hey, I got you, friend.
I mean, that is a pretty scary board, but aren't you just kind of dead to my Glowflies? Maybe not, what do I know?
No more niceties.
Time to pay.
I didn't even check to see if I had lethal there. Swipe his face, these two guys go face, doesn't look like it was lethal.
Elise.
Priest, huh?
Tyrande.
Priest has to be one of my better matchups, I would think. I think Priest can deal with the Glowflies, so let's just look for ramp and card draw. Kind of a sketchy hand, but that's okay.
Aloof Neladar.
I'm down to just play the Satyr next turn and discount a Maiev. Fungal Fortunes, though? Probably better. Try to hit an Overgrowth, or I guess a Glowfly Swarm is pretty good as well.
Thy blood be born again.
I guess I'll just draw a card and then make an Eagle so I don't overdraw. Found both of my Satyrs. So I can just make a 0 mana Malygos if we can get to that point. Somehow I have 3 minions in my hands and my Glowfly Swarm isn't too insane. But it's still good here, right? I mean, I guess it's still 6, just because I have so many freaking cards in hand. You hate to see it.
Don't keep your thoughts to yourself.
I have so many cards in hand, but none of them draw cards.
Aloof Neladar.
of destruction they come.
Auctioneer is pretty good here.
I got the best deals anywhere.
So if I Rising Winds, I'm gonna overdraw. Probably rather kill a 1/1 than heal for 3. Do I cast a Moonfire? I don't think I cast Moonfire.
Yes.
Definitely questionable though. Moonfire could have been really good here. Buff Ironbark to give +0 attack, please. Nine cards in hand, so if I play Rising Winds, I overdraw. Just gonna dump this card. Sure. Glowfly is not a good card in this matchup. Turn 9, the worst turn to draw Overgrowth. Alright, so I double Satyr here. Innervate doesn't do anything now that I only have one of them left. If I have 2 Innervates, then I can double Innervate and play Germination double swipe in the same turn. But with only one Innervate, it doesn't really do much for damage.
You think this is your time? It is mine. Like a fungus we spread.
Wow, he got a minion off both of those. It's actually kind of bad for me. Well, I can just Maiev his 8/8, it's not that big of a deal. Gadget would be the worst draw in my deck here, but it's not that bad.
I am the iron hand of the wastes.
So, 0 mana Malygos, Germination, Swipe, Double Moonfire is 36. So even if he plays Galakrond, he can't out-heal that. Which means I don't need to save a swipe here, so I could just swipe an Ooze.
No more niceties. Aloof Neladar.
It seems fine. Man, his board's gonna be scary next turn. Too bad he won't have a next turn. Most likely. I don't think there's really any way that that deck could naturally interact with what I'm trying to do here.
Too late. His return is nigh.
I'm gonna win big.
No more niceties.
Got him. As you saw, this deck is capable of pulling out some pretty ridiculous combos and some nasty OTK setups, but I'm not sure that it does it consistently enough to be a real deck. This version of the deck actually went 6 and 6, but the previous version I was playing was 7 and 15. And between those two versions, I only made 3 changes. I was originally playing 2 copies of Breath of Dreams and an Alexstrasza. The Breath of Dreams just weren't active enough with only 2 dragons, and Alexstrasza felt like it got in the way of my imprisoned satyrs a lot. So I cut those for 2 copies of Rising Winds, which ended up just being a better card than Breath of Dreams most of the time. And also a Crystal Power, just to deal with some early game stuff, add a little bit of healing. I could even see going up to a second Crystal Power, maybe over Bees. Yeah, I'd probably just go ahead and do that change right now. So I only made 3 changes between the decks, between the versions of the deck. Is that good enough to go from 7 and 15 up to 6 and 6? Probably a little bit of variance in there. But maybe it also depended on what part of the ladder I was at. This deck struggles very hard against aggro decks, particularly Demon Hunters that just curve out in the first few turns. Although somehow my overall against Demon Hunter is 5 and 7. Definitely felt like I was getting wrecked harder than that. Maybe I'm underestimating my deck, maybe it's not bad. It can be pretty slow, because you usually have to wait on the satyrs, and sometimes after a satyr you have to wait on a Maiev as well. But with the consistency of ramping with Overgrowth into Auctioneer turns, you can usually pump that stuff out pretty fast. I did opt for an Auctioneer package over a Kael'thas package, because we don't really have big spells we want to cast. Like, I could rebuild this to include Overgrowth or something like that. But I really just kind of want to play the Auctioneer, burn through all the cheap stuff, and find my Malygos and my satyrs. I just think Auctioneer fits in this deck better than Kael'thas. As far as additional changes to this deck, I don't think there's much I would change. Bees is certainly not a great card, and Glowfly Swarm is kind of a weird filler card, but it does sometimes steal games on its own. The problem with replacing those is I just don't really know what I would replace them with. I mean, maybe just more anti-early game stuff, Dreamway Guardians or Claw or something like that. But I think the deck is in a reasonable spot right now, especially if the few changes I already made are making that much of a difference to the win rate of the deck.